What's up, baby? It's your boy Baki and Dougie back with another one. You know what it is? This is a big one here. We're talking about the Zack Snyder version of the Justice League. Come on, kick it with your boys.
First of all,
let's bit of background.
Let's get into the politics behind the scenes, if you will.
Okay.
So I'm sure everyone here knows that this film was just notorious. In fact, it seems like facts about Joss Whedon are starting to hemorrhage now, and it seems he's kind of blacklisted. So that's kind of amazing that the director of the Avengers is kind of blacklisted. I guess there's some.
That's actually crazy. That's big.
Me Too stuff going on behind the scenes, but his behavior on set during the reshoot was inappropriate, I guess. So Ray Fisher kind of joins him on the blacklist because nobody in Hollywood likes to work with a rat.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Agreed.
And going back to Zack Snyder's involvement, so his stepdaughter Autumn committed suicide.
Right.
And Zack Snyder walked away from the project completely. It was 100% his decision, apparently.
Right. And
this was something he did for free, correct?
Yes. So Zack Snyder did this for $0, but in order for him to not get paid, he agreed to have 100% creative control. So that was kind of the thing of it all, you know. I'm sure they probably had wiggle room or came to some kind of agreement in, you know, terms of how long they wanted it to be together, you know, probably the studio and Zack, and then they came together and met in the middle for 4 hours for whatever it was, because Zack supposedly has a 5-hour version, right? So like if there's a 5-hour version out there, so but anyway, so they probably agreed on the 4 hours. So so that is literally like what came of it. Now we haven't done a Justice League review of the original ever on this channel or in stream or anywhere else, so I don't really want to do that, but I would like to point out that the differences between Justice League and the Snyder version is not only just like a couple extra scenes, but it's also different in tone, it's different aesthetically, it's different in plot, it adds more value to all the characters, it adds more value to the villain, it gives you a ton of epic scenes. It almost feels like this big grand adventure, almost like like some Lord of the Rings shit. Like if you think about it, you know what I mean? Like it goes to so many different places to explore the lore of what you're getting. You don't really have any questions about any of that because they give you all of that now. When you watch the theatrical version, you have so many questions. At the very beginning of the movie,
incomprehensible.
At the very beginning of the movie, Batman destroys a parademon, right? The parademon explodes and 3 boxes appear. That is how Batman goes on his thing in the theatrical cut. You see what I'm saying? Like there's no balance or anything in between. So what I personally would recommend, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really want to see how interesting like editing and shit can be, watch the Whedon version first and then watch the Snyder version. You don't have to do them like back to back, but at some point it's just very interesting to do that.
That's not recommended at all.
I recommend it, but
not back to back.
Not back to back. Yeah, no. But I'm just saying, like, if you like editing and you just want to see how things can change just tonally by a couple extra scenes here or there, or dialogue here or there that change things, totally fun little adventure to spiral into is to just watch one night and then the next night watch the other one. Like that was just such a fun thing. So, are we gonna do good, bad, ugly here?
Yes, and I honestly spoke you about this in the garage. I want to talk about it first. I fucking hate this whole Darkseid bullshit. They fucked up.
Okay.
It's the turd in the punch bowl, because otherwise it's caviar. But I really dislike how.
Yeah, let's just do ugly first this time. We're gonna have to swap it up this time.
I just don't like how. Okay, so when they introduced him, it kind of just felt like they extrapolated his CGI over Steppenwolf's, and then it made sense with Steppenwolf because he's kind of a fucking lackey.
Right.
It kind of made less sense with Darkseid attacking Earth, because why would Darkseid even like sully his hands attacking Earth in the first place?
Right.
He would have Steppenwolf do it for him.
Right.
Or someone else do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
the 5,000 years ago you're talking about?
Yes.
Right.
So the logic in the film is, the internal logic is that they can't find the mother boxes because they don't have the mother boxes. But surely their spaceships have navigational.
They have to have.
archive.
How the fuck did they get there?
Like, and you would
How do you get home?
If that was the one planet, the one planet that kicked your ass in the entire universe, and B, you lost the fucking mother boxes there?
How would you not remember that planet?
You think he would make it his fucking mission to come back to this pitiful little backwater planet?
Exactly, and completely, come back with full wrath, full vengeance, immediately after healing, because he knew. But somehow he lost it or whatever. That part is literally the weakest part of the whole movie, and it tears it apart, actually. It knocks it at the knees, bro. It actually
does. It kind of fundamentally, it's like pulling out the Jenga piece.
But yeah, it's literally the one flaw of the movie that you can't really
undo.
You can't undo or save.
But that scene is so fucking epic that you kind of like don't think about it at the time.
I mean, I've tried to think about like how possibly they could not have known Earth was there.
Didn't like, Wonder Woman explain why they couldn't find it? She could have. I think she said something about like they when they left, they turned off.
Right.
Like, now that's kind of cool actually, because it's very okay. This film is like a superhero version of Lord of the Rings. So
right. That's what I'm saying.
I can see the internal logic they were going for, which was the mother boxes turned off so that they would keep safe.
Right.
Okay. So when Darkseid recouped, he's like, we got to find these motherfucking things, scan the universe. And they're like, well, there's no fucking signal. But you'd think they would have bookmarked that planet in their fucking nav drive.
You know what? I say that, but shit, as much as I've flown around No Man's Sky and wanted to go back to a planet I didn't save, I was like, damn, bro, that shit gone. Like, I'll never find it. I'll never find that shit. Because if they didn't bookmark it, the chances of them finding again are even slimmer, though, you know? That's the one thing. So, I mean, it's kind of one of the things where you're like, why?
I mean, how long ago did this fucking happen that you forgot it, too, you know?
Well, think about it this way, too, is like, because he's just been conquering planets, bro. Like, Darkseid's like a...
left and right.
He's a forward thinker, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
which makes it all the more painful that they would operate like that.
Not really, because he got his ass whooped. I think, here's what I think, right? Is like, maybe when they came down, they came to the planet, he's like, yo, we're about to take over this planet. As he's on this planet doing the dirt, he finds out the anti-life is there, right? The anti-life equation. But fucking, you got all of these fucking defenders who really would probably fuck up the Justice League if they was to be fighting, honestly. Like, you had Zeus, you had Ares, you got all these fucking defenders, right? They beat the brakes off Darkseid, right? So it's not even Darkseid leaving. Like, he's probably knocked out on the ship as he's like leaving. His boys are like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, they're probably just like scooping up everybody, just leaving in a hurry. You know what I mean? Like, we're about to he's gonna lose. We're gonna lose our guy.
Yeah.
So as soon as Darkseid went down,
even Hux is gone.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as Darkseid went down, that's exactly where like you could see it going that way. That's the only way I can see it as an excuse.
And that was
rush out.
Right. And there was, so I guess there had to be some reason why they fucking were left here for gazillions of years. But I mean, it seemed like they could have come up with something better than that.
Yes, absolutely. The plot definitely could be stronger. That's probably the weakest point of the movie.
Let's remember, this film is still not an actual cut. it's more of an assembly cut at this point. So it's not even really a director's cut because they really didn't take that much time to do it.
No.
If you think about it. I mean, they threw it together in less than a fucking year.
Yeah.
But other than that, it brings it down to a 9 out of 10 for me.
Absolutely. I agree. It's a 9 out of 10 for me too.
Let's go back to doing it section by section. So
Okay.
Don't count on it, Batman. What do you have to say about that portion of the film?
Ooh, okay, so the opening of this movie is what I love about the DCEU is the connection to the last movie. And every time that it does that, it just feels like it's woven together, as in like every movie has like an impact that actually matters. You know what I mean? With a lot of superhero movies in general, it's the character's continuation crosses over, but never what happened or realistically like what would follow from said situations. You know what I mean? But it's nice to know that you can watch Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League back to back to back, and you would have a completely coherent like odyssey, you know, a legit odyssey,
like a trilogy of epicness.
It's just pure epicness, where you could see the beginning, the middle, and the rise, like the occurrence of Superman's little arc. You know what I mean? And Batman's introduction, like everything would be just perfectly coherent. So I really love the opening scene with fucking Superman just fucking screaming his lungs out. To me, dude, creepy. That was so eerie. Just
it was eerie.
Like it's like just over and over. And what's so interesting about it is it shows every single what it does is the screen permeates every single area that it's soon going to be interacting with to involve Superman to bring him back. You see what I'm saying? It hits Atlantis. You hit the fucking the Amazons. You see what I'm saying? It screams and hits every single spot, which is fucking awesome. So symbolic.
So there's something I'm thinking about right now. So they said the reason that the mother boxes woke up was because Superman died, but they stayed quiet
for 5,000 years
because they were afraid of him, though.
So before he was there, why didn't they activate?
See what I'm saying?
No, I already know. That's the biggest flaw is the whole
dark side invasion thing is like.
Well, no, the whole mother box is only activating because of Superman being there and not being there. You know, like that in itself is your biggest problem because. Well, here's what I was thinking. Right, I was thinking that the mother boxes like not necessarily can sense things out in the world, but they just knew that Darkseid got his ass whooped. So they're like, these motherfuckers look like, you know, are like gods. If the mother box had any kind of sentient behind it, they would know that it would need to turn off for a little while, at least to wait. But like 5,000 years is like, you can't. How fucking long is this box just gonna stay off? You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that shit literally just went to sleep though. Like I don't know. Who knows how their technology works and all that shit? Then you start questioning everything else, and you got to remember it's alien technology, not our technology. It's hard to like do that shit where you like
you thought his screams woke the boxes? That's one way to look at it.
That's pretty much what it was, right? So his screams did wake him up, but why were they asleep for so long though? Like they never
fucking knows.
I guess
reasons saying.
Yeah. It's just so strange that like when they turned off, they never came back on type deal. But again, it's still not like the biggest like deal breaker for me. You know,
neither.
It's a small thing.
Yeah. Moving forward, we keep coming back to this fucking issue.
Well, that was just the screaming box at the opening part of the movie. So,
but it keeps like now that we're actually analyzing it bit by bit. Now I'm using the other hemisphere of my brain.
Yeah, we got to think it out. So we got to be honest though. That's how we look at movies. Though. So we're gonna be objective. Now you see how we get down here. You know what I mean?
You see how we get down. We're not just gonna suck this movie's dick.
Nope, okay? I don't do that with movies ever. I told y'all that earlier.
We might like edge it a little bit.
A little top.
Let it
little spit.
Splooge on us, but not in our mouths.
Right. Not crazy. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Moving forward. So Bruce goes to Iceland. How How did this whole scene change in mood to you? Because it was like night and day to me, especially with the lamentation.
It was just so corny in the Whedon version, and in this version, it just made that much more sense. Like, it didn't...
It had subtle humor when he flashed the fucking wad of bills.
Money? Yeah, he had the money there. Yeah. It was very subtle things. And, dude, the fucking crazy thing is, on the Whedon version, the boxes are on the fucking wall.
Tell me what those 3 boxes are and I'll make it 30.
Bro, like, that movie's so terrible. But yeah, so like all that shit's gone.
Two directors and no one can do right by this fucking plot device.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, the boxes are on the wall in the Whedon version. At least it's not here. And all those corny jokes about him talking to fish and all that shit is, gone. Even though Aquaman ends up saying it to Cyborg, like, oh, you talk to machines. Later on. But I like that scene because it just looked, it was, the way that it was drawn out was a little bit better than how it was done in the Whedon version too, because he just like walked on the edge. Like when it cut, the next thing you cut to is him just walking up to the edge of the Iceland thing. You know what I mean? Whereas like this way is a little bit more dramatic. It showed him actually kind of like going towards it to get to that place, not just fucking.
It was like Batman Begins.
Right.
It was that epic.
Right. Exactly.
And they were like, how the fuck did he get here? Remember?
Right. Yeah.
Because he's Bruce.
A detective, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like he did a little bit more detective work, it felt like, with that part initially. And I just like that scene. So then you get the weird Nordic song or whatever kind of song it was.
The Two Towers shit.
But I actually enjoyed that part.
I did too.
I like all the slow pacing of a movie for me. Like that's what I'm in it for. Anybody can do action or, like stupid, like banter comedy and shit. You know what I mean? But that like slow pace, like payoff to where you're trying to pay like respect for why this person is doing this. You got to think Aquaman.
It really didn't feel like 4 hours when we watched it.
Sure in the fuck
and
didn't.
We dragged it out because we kept stopping.
Yep.
Because we were baked and we kept having to make food.
Yep. And the crazy thing too is like with Aquaman is like you got to almost wonder how many other places he's doing the exact same thing that he was doing there. You ever think about that? How many other little coves and little cities in fucking that are connected to the water that he's just hooking up?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's no way. It's just
over.
that exactly, bro. Bruce,
he's the Aquaman.
Exactly, bro. So it's crazy to think about that, but I like all that shit. You know what I mean? The extra respect. So what's after that?
When Wonder Woman totally brains those guys.
Woo! Let's
Holy
talk
fuck.
about the Wonder Woman scene, man. So it's crazy how like blood splatter and shit can literally change something. But here's the crazy part. After rewatching the Justice League, the Whedon version, she knocks out 3 people before the final guy. 4 people are taken out, but they still show 9 people in the door. When the door first comes in and she looks around, there's 9 people there, but she only takes out 4 and throws the fucking suitcase in the air. I swear to you, it's crazy. In the fucking Justice League one, it's so much more epic because she takes out 9 fucking people, legit. The way she's fucking blocking bullets, moving around.
She smashed that dude's brains into the wall. And then when she vaporized that fucking dude, and then she's like, "Hey kids."
Yeah, dude, the kids were like, "Oh shit."
The kids
like,
were all fucking traumatized.
They're traumatized, bro. That scene was actually super awesome. And it just felt more
oh yeah,
tangible.
And when they were shooting people, blood splattering everywhere, and the kids, they were like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah. Oh, and dude,
poor little kids.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood too, because when the dude went to pick up his gun, that homeboy was leaking on the floor still. And what was cool too is that move that she did at the end. Like a lot of people think that shit's super excessive. I kind of do too. You know what I mean? Like when she blew that dude out. But here's why I think she did it though. She had 40 hostages behind her, right? So if she would have went forward and went towards him and just missed 1 bullet as she lunged forward, she knows she can't pull back that fast. You know what I mean? Like she's quick, but she's not that quick in order to fucking make that kind of thing. So her making that choice was actually probably the better choice to make than to risk the hostages getting fucked up. That's the one thing I could think of when people are like, why did she do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, if she fucked up one time, somebody got blocked. We wouldn't be talking to that little kid.
For real.
That little kid would have got, you know? And you can't fuck around with that. And it's so relevant to today, too. Like, how relevant is that shit to today?
All day, every day.
Crazy.
In fact, at work today, I was going through my feed, and I'm like, this shit in Columbine, when I was in high school, was new. Now, it's everywhere. All day, every day. Unbelievable. It's
Unbelievable.
sad.
It is. It really is.
Moving forward. So the Age of Heroes, that's when they basically talk about the backstory.
Right.
Maybe that's when they get the mother box from Themyscira. I honestly don't know.
What's the next big move after Wonder Woman? Where do we go after that? Cyborg?
Cyborg's whole backstory, which was one of the best parts of the movie.
Loved it.
And the part that's really effective is when he scores the touchdown. Such a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
Side note, Junkie XL's score on this film was absolutely magnificent.
I loved it.
Changed the whole fucking ambiance of the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
The ambiance. But Cyborg scene is amazing. That was one of the scenes that was cut that was in the trailer. I'm like, what happened to the Zack Snyder slow-mo shit with Cyborg playing football?
Yeah.
So it shows that he's a badass. Looks up in the stands. His mom's crying her eyes out.
Dad's
not there.
Right.
And they're having a discussion in the car about how he's never there. And they're talking bullshit. And boom! Mom's dead. Cyborg is
fucked up.
And the dad keeps saying, I'm not going to let you die. I won't allow it. Bro, Dyson hit me in the feels in this fucking cut.
I got you.
They cut like so much of his shit, and we're gonna continue to discuss Mr. Dyson.
Wonder how he took that motherfucker home from the hospital though, huh?
Kind of like in Stranger Things. How did no one notice there was like lint hanging out of this dead body?
Right.
Fucking morgue.
Yeah.
Well, he works at Star Labs. He probably just threw him in a fucking duffel bag, bro.
He's like, yeah. Gots to go.
Come on, son.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Throw him in the fucking bag, the trunk.
Yeah,
Boom.
you just put him in the food cart. He's like, I'll take the food cart
like
to the
Chris
front.
Tucker and Jackie Brown, baby.
I'll take the food cart to the front. I got you, nurse.
Right.
Take a break today.
Put him
Thank you.
Right. Sloppy George. So, all
right, let's talk about.
Hold on. Let's back up.
Where you need to go.
So, let's talk about the good part of the Age of Heroes scene. And let's talk about, I'm pretty sure that the Amazonian set piece is in that segment. So, let's talk about the Age of Heroes scene. I already said the bad about it. Let's talk about the good. It had a very Lord of the Rings feel to it.
Absolutely.
Very epic. It was just more drawn out, and you saw the last alliance, like the elves, the men,
everyone coming together.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah, you got the Atlanteans, the fucking blah, 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 and blah, 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 and they come together and fight, yada, yada, yada. But you got the fucking Green Lantern. I don't know who the fuck it was, but the aesthetic for this Green Lantern was fucking sick, like how his symbol was like coming off his fucking chest. Mm-hmm. And when he took off, I was like, woo! When he took off, that was better than the whole Ryan Reynolds fucking movie.
Agreed.
Like, put together.
Agreed. And when he got fucked up, dude, when the ring came up, it like looked at Steppenwolf and was like, yo!
Oh, and he like chopped his whole fucking hand off.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta go!
Yeah.
It's like, this shit is
and
real.
Let's hear it for the fucking Olympians, huh?
Yeah, Zeus and
fucking
Ares.
Ares fucking denied Darkseid, bro.
Bro, he fucked him up.
He fucking...
But see, it's even doper actually now.
It is actually dope.
Because it shows you that at one point, Ares was good.
Well,
right?
Think about this, boys and girls. Darkseid is a demigod.
Mm-hmm.
Ares is God.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
And it's just awesome because Ares was once good.
Yeah, Jukes, it was. It was fucking sick.
He even agreed with...
Who told Jukes to leave? You do not tell Jukes to leave. Okay? Whedon is cut for life. He's going to be cutting cocaine in the trailer park.
Whedon is done. But yeah, dude, the fucking Zeus shit was sick when he was like blasting the lightning and all that shit, bro. Like, oh my god, I loved it. Sick.
And Darkseid's fucking whatever the fuck he had, that like hammer, was sick as fuck.
Yeah, Darkseid was fucking impressive. Here's what I'll say too: is like at least we got to see something of Darkseid. He might have not fucking won.
He might have got his ass raped.
But... yeah, he got fucked up. But at least we got to see something of that man do something, you know, instead of just being there in the fucking background.
Cover back.
Avengers.
He wasn't just a fucking post credit.
Avengers. My bad. All right, carry on. So, let's talk about the Amazon scene where the box has been awoken. Dude,
wow! I love that overhead shot when Steppenwolf flips that Amazon off his fucking back. Oh, bro, that overhead shot. Okay, so 3 shots from this part that are epic. That how the Amazons just jumped on this motherfucker like flies on shit, dog. And then, bro, how epic was it when he jumped and came down next to that horse and fucking came up under that? And fucking one arm suplex that.
I couldn't believe he did that shit.
Me neither. And then like I felt sorry for the horse.
Yeah.
And then the Amazons are like hitting him with these fucking grappling arrows, right? That motherfucker takes all them bitches and just throws them.
I was like, shit.
And then his suit chews the fucking arrows off, bro. And he's like, ah.
Yeah, that shit.
Bro, I was like, savage. I like that Steppenwolf better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he fucking did such a better job in general. And I like how much more slow pace it was when just initially when she came up to look at the box and everybody like all the fucking warriors are tense as fuck, dude. And the fucking ladies like coming slowly pulling up on it, bro. Like attention. The black lady's like slowly coming up, bro. She was like, yo, I was like, this bitch probably been slicing people's throats, so she's terrified right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's sick, bro. I fucking love it. Her escape was 10 times better too, as she's leaving with the mother box. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And yeah, it was just pretty fucking amazing.
Beautiful, man. I mean, it was just gorgeous. I can't even hate on it. And you know what's crazy is like at first and
the horse scene. Don't forget the horse scene.
That was what was one of the best things is
where the chick was crushed underneath the horse and it let it breathe. Yeah, like fine wine.
You let it breathe, baby. Because that's what I like about
like cognac.
That's what I like about the DCEU in general is they take time to let things breathe. Where it's not just move on to the next thing. We gotta do this. Got this character. Let's go. Boom. We got this. All right. Boom. Bam. Bam. You gotta like, what's going on with the world as things are happening?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Be organic.
Exactly. You gotta kind of feel a little bit, and I like when they do that. When somebody gets fucked up, you feel that shit. You know?
Yeah.
They slow it down. This whole movie, because it's 4 hours, it's beautiful because it's slowed down and it gives you that shit. It gives you that time. You know, 4 hours ain't nothing.
I think that's it for the first 2 chapters. But I think we got to back up to the Flash intro, which is pretty.
So that's about an hour in.
Is it?
It's 1 hour in.
So it's after Cyborg?
Yeah, no, actually. Cyborg's after that.
Okay. This movie's fucking long.
It's long.
So the Flash intro is actually really beautiful.
Yes.
Some people have said it's creepy, but that's Iris, you guys. That's fucking Iris.
It's just love is life.
Yeah.
And it's not creepy if you think that it happens in 1 fucking second.
I think
you
it's
fucking
a beautiful
idiots.
Scene.
Are people stupid?
It's an absolutely beautiful scene.
It's 1 second.
The music, I don't know what fucking song that was when they played when she was being catapulted out of the car.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. Beautiful. He's just watching her. This is all happening in the blink of an eye. And he's just like, I love this girl. And there are these hot dogs floating everywhere because this hot dog stand got hit. And I'm like, they're gonna.
I thought he was gonna put it in his mouth.
I thought he was gonna eat it, but it was even weirder because he put it in his fucking pocket
and he laughed. He smug about it.
Yeah. And then he saves Iris. And I like the touch. There's 2 things in this scene that I really especially like is how his shoes fucking disintegrate when he saves her. And I like how he fucking flew through the goddamn window by pushing through the glass. And he was doing it so fast the glass actually stretched before it even shattered.
Right.
And then he comes back, and you find out why he put the hot dog in his pocket, and he was feeding the dog.
But not only that, though, he's on the floor with all the dogs on top of him, so they can't see he doesn't have shoes on. You feel me?
Think about that.
He's gonna have fucking black on the sole of his feet. He just skidded on the fucking on all that ground, bro.
Well, he's gonna have to get up eventually.
You just leave once you can fucking. You don't have enough time to. You flash, nigga. Like the bitch turn around for half a second. You're out of there.
Touché, my friend.
You'll be gone, bro.
Touché.
But I don't think people realize it's supposed to be a second. Like it's literally supposed to be 1 second. If he did that and like looked at her like that as he saved her,
Darkseid's pointy stick. I'm not gonna lie, it did look like a fucking like a fireplace poker from hell. It did.
He's just jabbing the fucking jabbing the wood.
I'm gonna stick this in your ass.
I'm gonna jab this wood up.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay, wait. No, hold on.
Okay.
Let's stay on the Flash for a minute.
Well, what chapter are we supposed to be on?
I don't know. We're on
chapter 2. I think it's still the
2.
Cyborg chapter. So, Change Machine, that's too far ahead. So, Flash.
I told you, Cyborg is way later, his introduction.
No, because Cyborg's introduction is in part 3. Beloved mother, beloved son.
True.
Oh, we forgot about the whole scene with Barry Allen's father in prison.
That's the one. That's the first one. And let's talk about Barry anyway. That's what I said. I want to stay on Barry for a minute.
So I know you still are not a fan of the whole.
I'll tell you why afterwards. Let's talk about the scene first.
Okay, so the dad in jail. All the dialogues mostly different.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of expands on that. But the thing that's important is in this cut, he tells Barry, you make your own future, you make your own past.
Right.
So it was obvious. Like, his dad just should have said, foreshadowing, Barry, foreshadowing. But he didn't.
But we didn't know that, though, honestly. Right. It was too hard to...
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Did you?
I knew he was going to come back. I absolutely knew it.
I did not know.
I felt it in my bone of
I didn't know they were going to do that.
We'll
talk about it after when we get to the end. But, okay. So let's talk about Barry Allen for a minute and why I'm not really a fan of Ezra Miller's performance. Actually, I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of his performance.
If they made it Wally, would you have liked it?
I'd have loved it.
Okay.
That's my biggest problem. It's the wrong Flash character. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
So, if most people don't know, most likely where they got a lot of their influence for this Justice League is probably from the 2000 Justice League TV show and the Justice League Unlimited show. That was like, what, 2004 or something?
And a little bit of Injustice.
And a little bit of Injustice, right? That's pretty much where you could guarantee most of this shit is pulled from. Now, the problem with that is whoever was doing the research didn't dig deep enough, or they did and just didn't care because they felt like it should be.
We need a comic foil.
Well, no. They felt like it should be Barry because Barry is in the Justice League, not Wally. Do you see what I'm saying? Wally's not in the Justice League.
But he was in the cartoon.
Yeah, but that's Unlimited, though, where everybody was in the fucking Justice League.
No. In the regular one, he was Wally.
Oh, yeah. No. That's true, too. But what I'm saying, though, is like that's how they're perceiving it for the movie.
Oh, yes.
You see what I'm saying? It's like they're thinking that to the normal people,
Barry is funny.
Barry is the Flash of Justice League when he's not. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's the only reason I can think of why they would do that, unless because there's episodes where Wally is literally he's Wally,
which kind of doesn't make sense because they have like the third generation Adam, I guess.
Right? They had Ryan Troy or whatever, right? Or whatever fuck his name is.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, so for most people who don't know, in the comics from 1985 until 2006, Barry Allen did not exist in the comics. In fact, the only Barry Allen content from 1985 to 2006 is the fucking Barry Allen TV show in the fucking 90s, which obviously ain't canon. It's its own fucking thing. So, the dude who plays Jay Garrick, I think, in the TV show, the new Flash TV show. But anyways... So, what I don't think they realize is that Barry was never there in the Justice League. And because of that, they shoved all of these character traits that were Wally into that. You know what I mean? That's why if you named him Wally, perfect, bro. Pull out Wally's plots. You take out the dad thing. You don't need the dad thing there, and you put that in. Perfect, bro. I have no problem. My only other problem with Barry is how he runs, bro. He runs like he's throwing ninja stars.
It's pretty horrid.
He runs like he's throwing ninja stars. It's like he grabs something behind his back every time. Like he like I don't know how to fucking.
They just should have Bruce Timm-versed it.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. That's my two biggest issues with that. I honestly think his performance is fine. I just think he's not Barry Allen. Like when I see Barry, I don't think that. I see Barry and I think like weight on your fucking shoulders. You know what I mean? Like you know, like detective almost, like because he's a criminal fucking. He's in criminal justice and shit. You know what I mean? Forensics and all that shit, bro. Like Barry's ahead of the game in that shit, but like he's not really the comical dude, and he never was really young like that. Wally was the young guy who grew when he took the mantle. So this is what happens in 1985. Barry Allen is the Flash. Barry Allen dies in 1985. Crisis on Infinite Earths. In that comic, Psycho Pirate is pulling on Barry Allen's clothes underneath a rock, and Wally fucking sees it and beats the shit out of Psycho Pirate and fucking takes Barry's clothes home. And then when he goes home, he's like, if Barry's not here, then I'll take up the mantle as the Flash. So from 1985 till 2006, Wally was the Flash. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically a little bit of history if you guys didn't know. And that's kind of my whole biggest disagreement with the whole Barry Allen thing. But I still think he did a great job. He's Wally, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna call him Wally, bro. Nigga's Wally, bro. He's Wally. But yeah. Small thing. All right, what's next after Flash? Atlantean.
I feel like we're missing some
juicy.
Oh yeah, so Atlantis. Okay, so there's a couple things with Aquaman. So he goes to Atlantis twice.
2 times.
The first time he meets creepy ass Willem Dafoe's character. Sans Man Bun.
Yeah.
He had some weird fucking like
haircut,
Gandalf fucking wig.
He looked like Rafiki's cousin, bro. Yeah, he looked like he was ready to hold up Simba, I swear. I was like, what is this, circle of life, bro? What is going on?
So he gives him his fucking trident. Mm-hmm. And then he eventually gets around to attempting to protect the mother box from being taken by Steppenwolf, and that shit kind of plays out exactly like it did in the Whedon cut, I would say. Except for the fact that when he murks fucking Atlanteans in this, their blood lingers in the fucking water. That scene was always felt kind of muted anyway, very short, because the Amazonian shit was fucking epic, and he just kind of walked in and took it out from under their nose in Atlantis, and that was kind of how it played out in both versions.
Yeah, but you know what? It's just, I don't think the Atlanteans...
It's not a bad scene, but there just wasn't that many motherfuckers guarding the shit either. It was kind of like forgotten in Atlantis.
That, and I just don't think...
there was like 2 motherfuckers in there.
Well, that, and I just don't think that they fucking are like strong like that either, though. Like,
yeah, they are. The Atlanteans?
Yeah.
Dude, Aquaman is fucking tough, bro.
I know Aquaman
and he's a hybrid.
Yeah, but
They all are. Dude, they've got fucking Wonder Woman level strength, bro.
Well, it's weird because Wonder Woman's the only strong one of really the Amazon. Like Wonder Woman's super strong. You know what I mean? Because she's like part god and shit.
No, that's because she's got that fucking that sword.
Oh yeah, but it's because she's part god too, though, isn't she, or whatever?
She is, I believe. But yeah. I thought they all were.
I don't think the Atlanteans aren't, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I just think that they don't really like the shit that they do in there, like compared to what the fucking Amazonians, like they prepare for war, you know? The Atlanteans probably don't necessarily do all that shit. They're probably just underwater, you know, playing on some clamshells.
Whatever, bro. Look,
some lobsters.
With how epic Aquaman was, they could have had some epic shit there. They could have all been on seahorses and they were all shooting with the harpoons and he grabs the harpoons.
Yeah, they could have had seahorses. Shit.
But they didn't, so moving forward.
But Aquaman happened after, right?
Correct.
So maybe that was why
that's Mother Box numero dos.
Maybe that's why they upped their defense. Because they got fucked up in Justice League. They're like, we need to get some crabs.
Yes. Everybody loves the little crabs.
All right, so that's Mother Box 2. What we got next?
pull up that chapter list one more time.
Yeah, true.
Okay, all the king's horses. Okay, oh no, change machine. So this is where they
start pulling everyone together.
They start pulling everybody together, and they talk about what the mother boxes can actually do. And I thought this was actually really interesting. They said that the mother boxes do something called reinstatement, where they explained it in the film. The internal logic is if a house burns down, the smoke is the current state of the house, correct? Mm-hmm. The mother boxes turn the smoke back into the house.
Right.
They can reverse entropy shit back into its original form.
Right.
So all the light bulbs start to go off in all the Justice League's head. By now, Cyborg, Flash, all these motherfuckers have come. Oh, we totally mulled over the whole Gotham Harbor scene.
And I was gonna say, what about the Cyborg scene with fucking Wonder Woman, where they like meet the first time and shit?
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah, so Cyborg is so much. I mean, you thought
they
he was
so
bitter.
much more with him.
You thought he was bitter too, in the Whedon cut. He said, "Fuck the world." She's like, "You gotta help us save the world." He's like, "Fuck the world, bitch."
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck. I love that. I love that.
He went Rambo. He went Rambo 4 on that ass.
He did his own thing, bro.
He did his own thing, and so now what part are we getting to? So Steppenwolf has abducted all these motherfuckers to try and find out where the third box is. He has them held hostage beneath Gotham Harbor.
Yep.
This is where the whole crew kind of comes together for the first time.
This is right around the 2-hour mark, which is interesting because if you were to cut this bitch in half, that would be a perfect place to end it as a cliffhanger for what they're gonna do for the next movie. You know, if it was to be a 2-part, they could have totally done it.
You know what? That's actually a great point. They could have split this into 2 fucking movies.
Right there, that could have been the split. That's a great like cliffhanger thing where
it is
as Batman and them are like climbing up and shit. You know what I mean?
It is. It's actually really good. By golly, I think we're onto something.
So,
okay, so that whole scene was just more, less. It was pretty much like it was in the Whedon cut. It seems like he just added more Flash bullshit,
which was stupid. That was another scene I thought was totally not needed though. Was the fucking Flash scene where Cyborg's like fucking carrying all these people up the stairs and shit, and Flash is like, he runs up to the top of the stairs, says this way, runs back down the fucking Cyborg. Cyborg's like, move, and then he goes back down the fucking to his dad. It's like, you all right? He like pats him on the back. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why even show that scene at all?
A little quicker. You good? Yeah. I've got this. Keep moving. This way.
That scene made Flash seem like cute. Maybe they did it as like kind of like a jerk, you know what I mean? Like to be like, all right, we're gonna fucking, it's gonna look like he's not doing no pivotal shit, but he's gonna have the most pivotal role. That's the only reason I can think of, because that was pointless. What did he do right there?
Not a goddamn thing.
Nothing, bro. That was stupid ass point. So that shit was kind of like, meh. But again, I actually really like this whole entire set piece and scene. And we can also talk about like the one thing that I really am not a fan of is like Steppenwolf's still whatever to me, but like I don't like the little spider thing that they had in this one. But it was still better than the fucking Whedon version, because in the Whedon version, when he was doing that shit, he has him, and one dude goes, "Please, I have a family," and he goes, "Why does everyone keep saying that?" And he like snaps his neck. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it seemed kind of like Megatron-ish.
It seemed exactly like Megatron, and the CG on it wasn't sharp, so it was like, it looked pretty fucking bad. So the spider I wasn't a fan of. In fact, when I was first watching the movie over your house, when Cyborg lunges and fucking grabs the spider or whatever, I didn't know what was going on with his fucking arm. How'd you feel about the arms coming out?
I loved it.
It
did
weird.
Look kind of General Grievous, but
it looked just so like, I don't know, super generic. And like when he was holding the spider, I was like, what is? I was like, oh, he grabbed it, like he crushed it with that other arm. I was like, what the fuck is that? It was a little ugly, but yeah. So he saves them. Wonder Woman and them have that battle, and then he holds the thing. Now
Aquaman kind of has an extended intro.
Why do you think Aquaman knew right there to come to the harbor?
I don't know.
I don't think he knew any reason, right? Like, that's another reason. I'm telling you, I can pick apart this movie like any other movie, but I think that was like he had no reason really to go meet up with them right there. I mean, Batman already came. He said no. It's been like days and days and days, and he's just kicking in the water in Gotham Harbor, waiting for some shit to go down. Like, why the fuck is he even near Gotham? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no real reason why Aquaman is there to save them in that moment. It's literally some Deus Ex Machina shit.
Possibly.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, it's because we're actually thinking about this movie. I'm starting to pick her apart a little bit.
Yeah, but you can do that with any film.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
The
But
standards are just so high with these characters.
yeah, that's just the point, though. Is I do that with every movie, though. To be fair, I always ask these questions. So yeah, Aquaman comes and saves the day. But can I just say that, like, I don't think people understand how epic that moment is. Like, you can't stop water. Do you know what I mean? You can't stop water. You know, it's impossible. You know, you stop water by a pure blockade, not like a man slamming his trident down with all his might, just stopping all of that fucking water.
Dude, when fucking Batman jumped down off the fucking bat tank thing, it was like, just with that change of the soundtrack, you felt like that was the Frank Miller Batman.
Right. Hell yeah. Especially because at the end, you know, they gave him the tank and shit too, which was a nice little nod.
Nice touch.
Yeah, so honestly, I think you could have split the movie right there, boom, and then could have actually panned out and made another reason they got together or whatever else in the next movie. But that was a perfect little 2-hour climactic scene, you know? All right, and then we get together after the Gotham Harbor scene, and that's when they come together for the...
So now they're like, well, let's just bring Superman back to life, because we just got our asses fucking handed to us.
Yep.
That came off a little better, a lot better in this version, because they were like, we need to bring him back because we just got our asses beat, basically.
Yeah, they got the shit kicked in.
So there's actually a lot different about this scene. And one of those things that jumped out at me was when the computer and the Kryptonian ship goes, the future has become rooted in the present.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that meant. But anyway, moving forward, that was a nice touch.
Well, prior to that, though,
Superman.
Prior to that, they got to dig him up from the grave.
Oh, yeah. And Cyborg had that fucking, like, vision, too, when he interfaced with the mother box where he was seeing some of the nightmare shit.
Yeah, so but when they dig him up from the grave scene is actually a little bit more dope, because you find out that the Amazonians and the Atlanteans
don't like each other.
They've had beef this whole entire time, and fucking it's cool because you get to see them come together on a common saying, a common phrase that they have amongst themselves, you know, which was nice. And instead of all that banter between Barry and
the Bat Tank was fucking dope. Yes, it was. The Dark Knight Bat Tank, right?
Yeah.
Paul Tosh, that was such a nice fucking...
That was a beautiful touch. Okay, so they dig him up, and their game plan is to do the fluid thing. Now, this
wanted to bring up, too.
What else? Bring it up.
They don't do the whole bring in the big guns thing. Lois is already there. Yes. Because she keeps bringing... By the way, side note, that cop she brings coffee to...
Lazy bastard. Lazy. Remember?
Hold on. That's Jimmy Olsen from the OG fucking Superman and the brother from Back to the Future.
Really? That's crazy.
And the homie called that out.
That's dope. Yeah. That's fucking funny as fuck. It's just so funny because he's just like waiting for coffee, bro. He don't go get his own coffee ever.
So she's already there.
Okay.
That's why she's there.
And that's actually much better than like she's the key, and because that's what it was in the.
That wouldn't have been so bad, but it was just the whole like
that. No, that would be terrible because like think about it, because Flash came back in time to tell him that Lois is the key, and you're telling me that Lois is the key is because if
we're gonna go into this,
if Lois doesn't show up in the fucking 10 minutes that Superman doesn't know what's going on because he's been dead for a fucking year, then he's just gonna stay crazy forever. What kind of bullshit? That would be terrible if Lois was the key. What I like is they don't ever answer that shit with Lois is the key. It's supposed to be for later, you know.
That being said,
she is the key,
Superman's lack of screen time in this film is both a good and a bad thing.
Let's talk about the scene prior to that, okay? This is what I like about this movie. Is a lot of the foreshadowing is done really well.
Minor side note, the whole Superman comes back scene and beats all their ass is at night in this version.
Yeah, it's like darker.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so before they bring Superman back, right? Let's talk about all this crazy shit that happens. So what I like about this scene is it's so much foreshadowing again for what Flash is capable of. But you're not really noticing it because it's so subtle. And what happens is he says, like, if I go fast enough, like, strange shit happens with time, but I can generate enough electricity. Like,
that shit was dope.
He like brushes it off, you know. He's like, strange shit happens with time, but I can generate enough electricity. Like, he's like telling you, like, I can get the voltage for us to do what we need to do. It wasn't about, in the Whedon version, it was like they were like, we have to touch the amniotic fluid at the exact same fucking time or whatever else the fuck. And it was like, well, if you just drop it, you could just do it again. You know what I mean? There was no like craziness about it. But the thing here is, it's the same, but Flash was late.
That shit was wild, actually.
And because he was late, but he was going fast enough, the time goes backwards. So it's already showing you that in this little ass ship that he's in, you know, he's capable to already bring back time this much. So it shows you that his power to bring back time later on is not far-fetched at all. It's a beautiful foreshadowing moment that makes perfect fucking sense, you know?
Nice to see that all the shit that I liked about this scene was Zack Snyder's idea, because I still one of my favorite shots in this fucking movie is when Flash is coming around the side and you just cannot get past that Kryptonian boy.
He sees you.
He sees you.
Yeah.
He sees you before you coming, boy.
Yeah. And yeah, so the scene between them was basically the same though. There was just like two extra punches.
There's a major part on this scene that adds weight to this fucking part, where the dad sees his son and the other JL people breaking in, and he's trying to like alert security. And when he sees Victor, there's just this visual exchange, and he goes, never mind, it's a fucking
false
alarm. And then the dad, when they lose control of the mother box, when Superman's beating all their asses, Dyson dad takes the mother box into the chamber where he heats it up with this laser, and it just fucking disintegrates this motherfucker.
What happens first though, what's crazy is this never happens in the fucking other version either, is when they do the resurrection and Superman fucking wakes up, the fucking box flies in the air and falls on a car.
Why did it happen this time? I don't really recall.
Because Superman just fucking woke up. I think it was Supes, honestly. I don't think it was. It seemed like it was the box, like, you know what I mean, like the move of the box. But I honestly think it was just Superman and all that fucking energy. All that shit just flew up in the sky, and then it just fell and hit the fucking car. And then that's when Dyson fucking does that shit. And he grabs it and takes it.
That shit was eerie, man. He just disintegrated himself to heat up the mother box so they could track it.
Right.
Nice touch. But for Victor to see that was like the dad's redemption for all the fucking football games he never showed up at. So moving forward,
he said, my eyes are on you now, son.
Yeah.
And what else was something else that I thought was interesting, we kind of glossed over, it was when Cyborg was listening to the recorder and the first time, and he's explaining all the things that he's going to be capable of,
powers.
Yeah.
And he gives that chick $100,000 on the ATM.
Yep.
Beautiful scene.
Yep. And when at the end he's like, now let me speak to you as a father. Bam, and he just breaks that shit. You know what I mean? So that the payoff later on is that much sweeter when he listens to it. So Cyborg is beautifully done. Like his arc, to be honest, this is a Cyborg movie. This is something I noticed. Is like a lot of people are saying this movie is a bunch of origins shoved into one. It's literally Cyborg's origin.
Cyborg's movie.
There's no other origins in the movie. You see Iris.
Superman's movie was the first film.
Right.
Batman's was the second. This is Cyborg.
This is Cyborg's movie,
and which was kind of a weird. But see, no, it's not weird because we already know.
You already know this shit.
I'm gonna take a fucking side.
Let's side it. Let's take a side swipe.
Side path here.
Let's do it.
People are always like, well, we need to see more character development with these fucking characters. How many times do we need to see Bruce Wayne's fucking parents get slaughtered in front of him? How many times do we need to see Superman get
sent off
by his parents? How many
more.
fucking times do we need to see the Flash get fucking electrocuted?
No more.
They didn't
Spider-Man as a kid.
Spider-Man, exactly.
All this shit. Oh, every time. Start over. We don't ever get to get deep with anything because we always have to start over.
To set it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cyborg is the only one that really needed to be set up.
Exactly. And that's what I love about it is like you don't have nobody else's origin in this shit, and it's a beautiful way to set him up because it shows how important he is to this role of this movie. You know, it's a pivotal role. So
he's like to me, he's the Vision of the DC movies.
Right. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Super important.
So where are we here? It's getting hard, guys. We're like wading through the shit here.
So they got together, right? After they got together, they fucking
Superman goes back to his old house.
Yeah, he dips out. He's kicking it. Oh, let's talk about the fucking Martha Lois fucking scene real quick.
Ooh.
Okay.
This one's gonna be juicy.
Did you fucking like that shit? How'd you feel about that?
Well, hold on. Are we talking about the actual conversation or what happened afterward?
Okay, let's talk about the conversation first. What did you want to say about the conversation?
Okay, so for starters, Lois is on leave in this fucking movie. She's on unemployment.
Yeah, she was still working at the fucking Daily Planet in the movie.
So that whole cheesy exchange is gone. I don't even remember what they talked about.
They talked about that she doesn't.
Oh, she wants her to come back to the world.
Yep.
Okay, now I kind of like that scene because afterward, spoiler alert, Martha was the Martian Manhunter. Not only that, but the Martian Manhunter was the general dude
from Man
forgot
of
his
Steel.
Fucking name.
Yeah.
From fucking BVS too.
Yeah, Man of Steel and BVS.
Yeah, you know that guy.
Okay, so here is my question.
So he's been playing shit behind the scenes, obviously, with the Justice League, and he doesn't make himself known until the last scene of the movie. We'll just get that out of the way right now.
Yeah.
We're jumping all over the place here. Sorry.
Not really. We're actually kind of going in order still because this happens afterwards. So like,
I liked it. I liked it all. That whole thing.
I was just confused because I was like, why?
But think about how crucial that conversation was, because when she came to the thing, what did she say to the cop? She said one last time.
One last time.
So that was heavy. You know, that was.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't, because I still think Superman would have snapped out of it eventually. Maybe.
So he goes back to his old house. Martha pulls up. Her acting is on point as usual. Whoever that is.
And the interaction between Lois and Soups on the farm is way different. Like in the fucking bro, in the theatrical,
she said you smell good.
No, it's worse than that, bro. She goes, what was it like? She goes, itchy. Coming back, and he goes, itchy.
How much cocaine were you on, Joss Whedon?
How much? They spent $100 million to do reshoots to say it was itchy.
To say you smell good. Did I not before?
Bro, when in the fucking theatrical version of that fucking shit too, he goes.
They should have banged.
Bro, when Flash and them are about to fight Superman, he goes, should we bow or turn our bellies? In an 80-yard line.
I don't even remember.
Yes, bro, it's an 80-yard line, bro. And he goes, should we bow? Or maybe turn our bellies? I'm like, bro.
Oh no. Should we bow? Or show our bellies?
Like, I don't even remember.
They spent $100 million on that. What's crazy is the shit that Whedon added is none of it is good.
No. Garbage, yo.
Every single part of it is terrible, and it takes away from the movie. So it's crazy that they wasted all that money to have somebody do reshoots, then spend another $70 million to finish the movie that you were going to do in the first place? Hey, that's some weird shit. What's next?
Okay, so we're preparing to go into battle. There's actually a nice little exchange in the Batcave where Bruce is like, what's Cyborg doing? And Barry's like eating, and he's like, he kind of just wants to be left alone. It's like the little exchange, just something.
And I love that Barry's eating again. He didn't just eat one time.
Yes.
You know, he kept it up.
He's a snack hole.
Mm-hmm. And I do like that. You're right. Like, it's just something small. It's like he needs to be alone and deal with the fact that he just lost his father right in front of him and was melted alive, and he's a fucking alien. Like, he's part alien now. Like, you know, there's a lot to take in for him, you know. And that moment makes it even more sweeter for, you know, the third act that we're about to get into. Because the third act of this movie is just, it's a lot.
So, Superman is super not in this fucking movie.
Super not.
But it makes it to where when he shows up, it's
more dessert.
Really sweet. It's like caviar on the tip of a penis.
I mean, would you say he's in it any less than
the
theatrical?
No, and the only thing is when he came back in the theatrical version, he whooped a little more ass at the end of this movie. But when he came back in the theatrical version, Bruce's expression is so fucking gay. Sorry for using that fucking word, you guys. And just the shit that he says is so fucking lame.
All of the shit, like the whole interaction in the theatrical version is terrible. Like, fucking Superman says some shit like, I know you really needed me. You don't like me. You wouldn't want me here.
Not like you.
Yeah, you don't. I know you don't like me. He goes, I didn't not.
Just I didn't not. It was super.
I was like, bro,
super like sexual tension, dude.
I didn't not.
Right there, total sexual tension.
Yeah. This way is pulled off so much better in the way that like he just shows up, and you know what else is crazy too, dude?
The black suit.
The whole third act of this movie is completely different.
Completely different.
Entirely different.
How they systematically whooped Steppenwolf's ass was dope. You know how Aquaman impales him. Wonder Woman. Oh, she chopped his fucking head off, right?
Prior to that,
Superman punched him toward her, and then Darkseid actually won in this, but Barry.
Yeah, so we gotta talk about that.
Goes
first.
So fucking fast. So the end of this movie with the Flash is another one of those moments. The Flash and Cyborg should be fist bumping in that last shot because they are hands down the two
saviors,
greatest aspects of this fucking movie, dude. This was the Flash and Cyborg film, and when Flash does his thing where he runs faster than the effect of what just happened to try and like back it up again, it's just beautiful. And how he's running towards the Speed Force and he's just like, Dad, I just want you to know that I was one of the best of the best. And just gorgeous.
And the whole third act
caviar.
The whole third act is pretty crazy because like in the Whedon version there's this weird ass thing with the Russian family that they do to take Superman away from fighting Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the theatrical version there's nothing for anybody to do.
This city is completely abandoned. Zack reiterating the whole, okay, fuckers, well, we won't do any combat in any populated areas.
Yeah. But it makes more sense and it works out. And instead of giving Superman something to quote unquote do so everybody else, because nobody else could beat Steppenwolf, right? Like Superman is the dude to handle Steppenwolf. So in the theatrical version,
he does that.
Yes, he handles them, but they also make him go save people in the middle of it because they want Wonder Woman and everybody to keep fighting for a little bit longer. You see what I'm saying? In this one, they skip all of that shit. Soon as Supes arrives, Steppenwolf does not get back up until they allow him to get back up.
Correct. And when they chopped his fucking head off and his head flew through that boom tube to Apocalypse and Darkseid stepped on it and crushed it, Just so epic.
Yes, beautiful, man. Beautiful
Epic.
finish. And like, what else is crazy is like, if you think about it, like Batman had the least amount to do in the third act. His main, if we go through all characters, right? Okay, the people who had the least amount of things to do that were like super monumental to the moment is Batman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. Those three right there, they're obviously needed. Batman is the key to linking everybody together. Aquaman has ties to the mother box downstairs. That's how really everything gets connected there. And he knows about, you know, the niggas in Atlantis or whatever else. Wonder Woman is already tied to him. So they're just like links of already past shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the Amazonians and the Atlanteans collide and know about it. And Bruce knows about all that shit. Flash and Cyborg are like the monkey and the wrench plan where like, I bet you if the mother box was calling out, they weren't even expecting shit like that. They weren't. The mother box probably, like, as much as it knew about Cyborg and what it was capable of, probably didn't see all this shit coming together the way it happened. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's interesting as fuck to think about that those two characters have the most impactful role in a fucking Justice League movie where the three Trinity do not.
True.
It's crazy, you know?
And then I think after this we have the epilogue, which was kind of surprising. It was like very Return of the King level type shit. So
I'm gonna be real. On the second time me watching the epilogue, I didn't like it.
You're bored.
I didn't like it. You could do without it. Go to the part where they show all of them do the fist bump and then that side panel
what about
shot.
the nightmare thing? You didn't like that?
We take all that shit. Oh, actually, you can keep it up to the nightmare. Right when the nightmare starts, you get rid of all that shit.
So you don't like the Joker shit? None of it,
bro. That shit was like.
Oh, really? So I won't. Well, then say how much I like that.
Talk about how much you like it, baby.
I like how like Deathstroke and all them motherfuckers was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they set that shit up with Deathstroke, and I like that shit. Are you fucking crazy?
I didn't like it. It was.
You didn't like it. You didn't like it.
Yeah. It just felt like
too tacked on.
Yeah. It honestly, like the movie was fucking perfect. If you'd have just ended it there. Bam. Well, like, okay, so I like the aspect of them going to the dream world because, like you said, that was supposed to be what the next movie would be, right? Is like
let's back up slightly.
Yeah.
So the fate of all the characters. So Superman wears a black suit. That's his big character arc. Now Wonder Woman, I don't know, but Barry goes back and shows his dad that he got the job. The reaction from the dad was pretty priceless.
It was really good. Cyborg he rewinds it and listens to his father's second half of the tape.
Your father twice over.
Mm-hmm.
I brought you into this world twice.
Oh, Wonder Woman, she's like fucking feeling kind of guilty because she left the fucking Amazon. Amazonians
that's right. Now
bro.
she goes back to Themyscira and she's just trying to heal.
Yeah, and everybody's fucking gone. They all got fucked up.
Yeah.
She's got like two sisters left, and one is crippled.
Aquaman goes to find his dad.
Yep.
That actually, yes, that was a great move. And then Bruce meets the coda of the entire film is Bruce meets John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. You find out.
Now that scene
the nightmare scene. We're totally mulling over that. So Bruce has a fucking nightmare where Darkseid's taking over the planet.
And they fucking, bro, and he's stabbing the Atlanteans underneath the water and shit.
That was fucking Aquaman, bro.
Was it Aquaman?
That was Aquaman.
Oh shit, bro. I didn't even see that.
That's why Vera or whoever the fuck
you're right.
She's like, I want to kill that motherfucker. Deathstroke. So this scene is directly after Deathstroke talking to Lex Luthor, talking about how he wants to kill Batman, and then it jumps to
Bruce Wayne,
and then it jumps to the nightmare where Bruce Wayne and fucking Joker and Deathstroke are teamed up to just try and survive.
Yeah.
Joker says some Joker shit to Bruce. Bruce says, I'm gonna fucking kill you, which was pretty fucking edgy.
I kind of like that part though. Like I like the idea of it all. I just feel like we didn't need it. And after a fucking 3 hour, fucking 4 hour movie, you know, it could have been 3.5, and honestly, I would have been like.
The reasoning for that is that Snyder wanted there to be a reason to use Jared Leto down the road. You know, he wanted to like cement him in that.
That's cool though.
So the last shot of that is Superman
The
So
red eyes.
obviously, what happened is
Lois died.
Lois dies. Superman ends up becoming like Darkseid's fucking herald. And that's how that dream ends. He meets fucking Martian Manhunter, and that's the end of the fucking movie. And there's never gonna be any sequels.
No, we're not gonna get anything from it. It's funny because Bruce Wayne looks so fucked up at the last scene. Like he looks like it's 2021. But what's funny though,
He's skinny as fuck. In fact, I thought they deep faked him. I was like, is that George Clooney deep fake?
he does look so different, doesn't he? What's funny as fuck though is like he looks like he's been sleeping after doing all this epic shit, and this nigga just woke him up at like 5 in the morning as soon as the sun's up, floating at his door. He's like, bro, whatever. Yeah.
He's like,
I've met Kryptonians, Amazonians, Atlanteans, Cyborgians, Flash Malloryans. Hi. I'm going to sleep, brother.
Back to bed.
Yeah, like he just looks tired. It's perfect because he did it because he's like, I'm so tired of this Batman shit, but it worked because he's like, I'm so tired of you motherfuckers showing up.
He said, I'm taking another Percocet and going to bed.
He's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure. He like brushed it off so funny, bro. I love that part actually. That was like my favorite part of the new additions was that part. I was like, now that was fucking great. He looked so exhausted.
Do we have any other things we need to talk about?
We kind of skimped over the third act pretty fast, bro.
We did, but
the third act is, like I said, it's interesting because
what the fuck did we mull over?
Well, Flash's whole thing is he has to run around to give the fucking energy to Cyborg in order for Cyborg to desynchronize the mother boxes who have been synchronized. And we also haven't really talked about Steppenwolf, and we also really haven't talked about how Steppenwolf owed this nigga 50,000 worlds, which is pretty fucking crazy. But like, so fucking as the synchronized thing is going, Flash is running around this shit, and he gets shot, right? And when he gets shot,
he got fucked up.
Yeah, and like, bro, when he got hit though, like, dude, his acting for when he got shot
was really
like,
good.
Yeah, I just got the wind knocked out of me, bro. Like his hands were like shaking and shit. He's like, come on, heel. Like, bro, that part right there was so fucking clean, bro. I love that part. And that part was perfect because that's when Superman arrived. So it was such a well-deserved moment because everything went wrong in that moment. Flash fucked up and was about to die. Batman saves Flash. That's the only thing Batman does in the third act. He saves Flash, kills that fucking parademon who was about to knock him out, and then fucking Cyborg's about to get fucking hit, and boom, that's when Superman shows up and completely changes the dynamic of the fight.
And that was such a nice shot when he showed up and that shit was on his shoulder and he was like
not impressed, and he just fucking blew that shit and just fucking shattered it instantly, and then just began to whoop ass. Like, I love that whole entire moment right there. It just makes it so much more epic. And dude, just that whole final scene with like the Batmobile and shit was just done 10 times better in this version than the fucking red sky weird shit that we had. You know what I mean? Remember like how Batman gets in and how he flies in and shit? It's just like, it just seemed so much more simple in this version. It didn't seem like that whole shield thing was as much of a pivotal role as it was in...
And there was no like psychedelic cocaine flowers everywhere.
Right. Everything was super weird, and the crystals through the ground for no fucking reason. Like, why did any of that shit even happen? We don't even know, you know? Yep. So, like, the cinematography of this movie is such a comic book movie. It's like enriched in it, you know? Literally so many shots you could pause and someone could draw, and it would literally be like, you could totally have it in a comic book, you know?
True story.
I love that shit. I love that aspect. Shit. Anything else? Let me see.
I'm literally kind of exhausted talking about this movie.
It does it.
As I was watching it, but
yeah,
it was good. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
So was us just fucking rambling around like dipshits? Is that what they're seeing right now? Because if so, that's amazing.